this evening. I'm your anchor, Josie Sabo.
And I'm your other anchor, Sean Francis. And because this marks the end of the Easter week, as well as Passover and the continuation of Ramadan, line it all up together, everybody. Some of you might have been quietly fasting and reflecting on the Holy Week. While others gorged themselves on ham and eggs. I'm not going to say who, but those are the two options. So we, here at NewsFlash, gorged on the news, and we are going to bring you the top local, national, and world news that you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is
NewsFlash. That one. We're going to bring that down just a little bit, everybody. Our top story tonight, last Wednesday, GRPD finally released the full video of the officer that shot and killed Patrick Lyoya, which prompted roughly, I would say, about 3 different responses. Most people, shock and horror, mostly, from, I would say, well-meaning white allies who just couldn't comprehend something so horrific happening in their literal backyard. Second would be frustrated confirmation from black people or people that just knew that this sort of thing happens all the time. And heartless assholes making shitty comments like, he should have complied, why did he run? Shit like that. As if these weren't the same people 2 years ago throwing a hissy fit about not being able to go to a salon. So, comply with this, Kyle, okay? All right?
What followed was 5 straight days of peaceful protest from outraged citizens and local activist groups. While there were no incidents, it predictably culminated in some moments of mild tension, like Saturday, where protesters marched up to police decked out in mid-tier riot gear outside the Kid Rock concert at Van Andel.
You know, there's almost something poetic about that mental image, but I don't want to use poetic in the same word as Kid Rock, so, or sentence, or any part of speech, especially because he's lately, if you don't know, been kicking off of his shows with the video of the former Cheeto-in-Chief pontificating about making America rock again. He thinks Steely Dan is too spicy. The only good thing about this scenario is that we might only be a couple years away from not having to worry about this guy's political career anymore, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be into the mattress sale opening day and monster truck rally phase of his career. There we go. Yep. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Anyway, in an attempt to maintain some journalistic objectivity, the following summary only technically represents the thoughts and opinions of the reporter saying them, but come on, you guys know. Justice for Patrick Lyoya and his family, shame on GRPD, and for good measure, fuck Kid Rock and Donald Trump.
On to way less important and hopefully funny news. Today is National Animal Crackers Day.
Perfect.
And those who were looking to celebrate with some soup and classic Shirley Temple song may be surprised to learn that the lyrics may be on the next canceled chopping block. I know. After a remix of a DVD collection infomercial went viral on TikTok, Generation Z has discovered yet another problematic pop culture artifact from our parents' parents' past. What we all assumed was simply an innocent ode to a favorite snack actually reveals itself as a sadistic fantasy of torturing helpless animals made of semi-sweet dough. We've got Sean preparing some instrumentation for us. Yes.
When I get after the big bad wolf, I just push him under to drown. Then I bite him in a million bits, and I gobble him right down. Those are the literal lyrics.
But it doesn't stop there. The narrator of the song becomes so obsessed with their edible effigies, it begins to warp their sense of realities.
Edible crackers in my soups do funny things to me. They make me think my neighborhood is a big menagerie. Or instance, there's our janitor. His name is Mr. Klein. And when he hollers at us kids, he reminds me of a lion.
So in case you missed that, the implication is that this kid is fantasizing about eating the janitor, a minimum wage worker who doesn't get the dignity of a first name because he yelled at the kids like a lion. But the last stanza is truly bone-chilling.
The grocer is so big and fat, he has a big mustache. He looks just like a walrus just before he takes a splash.
So besides the fat shaming, the kid is now straight up going full Hannibal Lecter on the neighborhood. They no longer want to buy food from the store, they want to eat the grocer. And the song just ends there.
Yep.
Representatives of Temple's estate are expected to issue a statement and bad apology, but that still doesn't mean that the damage hasn't already been done, where the woke mob of TikTok has already pledged to commit to a full imaginary vegan diet where their food won't even have the personality of a living creature. Who knew that after WAP and Montero, the most controversial song of 2022 would be from 1935?
Today is also the deadline for filing your taxes, unless you are eligible for an extension or you're wealthy enough that that doesn't matter to you. And many Americans are likely to be waiting for their return for a while. The IRS announced that it began its filing season back in January with a backlog of 6 million unprocessed returns from last year, and a labor shortage of 20% and a budget cut of 25%. We have the following statement from the director of the IRS. Somewhat good news is with rising inflation, the IRS has announced that tax brackets and standard deduction limits have increased, so that could mean for some higher potential returns next year. So in the meantime, maybe some of us might want to look into some alternative means of income. I've heard a lot of good things about this Dogecoin. Yeah, maybe I should look into that. What? Josie, what?
Not so fast there, Sean.
Oh, wow. It's almost like you have a rebuttal.
Well, because cryptocurrency has been in the wild, wild digital west for a while, with unregulated sales and way too many scams to mention. But U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who does look a little bit like Bizarro Ellen, is trying to change that. She wants crypto to play by the same rules as traditional U.S. currency systems and the stock market, which is to say, no rules at all. You know, greed is good. Everybody's a diamond hand wolf trying to go to the moon, and you're so money right now. You don't even know how money you are, Sean. Don't forget to buy your GameStop stock before you leave tonight.
I won't. In other financial news, S&P Dow Jones removed all Russian stocks from their indices and hit Russia with a default rating on their foreign debt. So the U.S. in return has sent multiple Venmo payment requests. But Putin just keeps on declining, saying, maybe you'll accept internet picture of funny monkey instead?
New Jersey's recently passed a bill legalizing recreational marijuana use will be starting this week on 4/21. What a bummer. They couldn't time it to be one day earlier, or maybe the plan all along was to give the cannabis enthusiast one last year to celebrate in secret shame before weed stops being cool.
Hey, Jersey, forget about it. I wrap my weed in Capicola. I was born in New Jersey. No, I think the cops have even more things to worry about. And I'm not just talking about the thing they actually should be worried about from the first story. No, a serial attacker is on the run in Greenville, South Carolina, whose weapon of choice is plate of whipped cream? The police have released this footage of one of the attacks. And they actually identified the suspect after he posted a picture of himself on social media. Yeah. So, Just snap detective work there. At this time, he is still at large, but authorities are urging citizens to be on the lookout for other dangers such as banana peels, whoopee cushions, and buckets of water sitting on top of doorways.
Whole month of April is not safe.
I know.
In an unlucky turn of events, the FDA has launched an investigation against the breakfast cereal Lucky Charms. Over 100 complaints have been lodged from consumers about creating their own second rainbow after eating the colorful cereal. We were unable to reach Lucky the Leprechaun for comment, but other anonymous sources have tipped us off that the leprechauns don't wash their hands before putting the magic into each and every piece of marshmallow goodness. Tragically delicious. And luckily, any of our Jewish friends were able to incorporate this news into their Passover celebration as they were required to burn the remaining chametz.
Hey, look at that. All right. In other food safety news, the CDC says that a deadly listeria outbreak that was linked to Dole salads is over, which brought a whole new meaning to devil's lettuce. But, I just want Dole to know right now, personally, I am never eating one of their salads ever again. Or any salad, for that matter. And it is solely their fault. No other reason.
A top-notch hospital in Doha, Qatar has been very busy over the past year, but not because of COVID, because apparently at this particular facility, only falcons are allowed. Apparently falconry is so popular in Qatar that the birds are sold for thousands of dollars and owners will spare no expense to make sure they're healthy and in tip-top shape. Trainers like this man will bring in their birds for checkups, medical tests,
oh boy,
feather replacements, that one's real, and orthopedic surgeries, which essentially amounts to a mani-pedi for the most talented birds.
They also, while they're at it, they just regularly test all the falcons for STDs because they're getting hella red tail. Even the eggs are getting laid. Gets worse. Doctors make sure that any patients that are lost during any medical procedures are treated with the utmost respect and a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices.
And upon learning about this facility, Americans seeking affordable health care may plan on booking flights to Qatar once their Etsy purchases come in. Because let's face it, the best we can do for our American Eagles is letting them molt while waiting for months to get into VA hospitals.
Yeah, it's real. Now, for any soccer fans out there, football, if you're okay, so 2 people. Awesome. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a key victory for Manchester United last week, scoring 3 goals in a single game, or what is known as a hat trick. Officials have pointed out that this is actually Ronaldo's 60th hat trick of his career, and he can now finally trade in all 59 other hats for a larger one. So stupid.
And we wrap up with 2 scoops of big space news with some wins and some losses. First, NASA's having difficulties getting their rocket up after their 3rd wet rehearsal was ruined with a gas leak. But enough about Sean's Friday night. Hey-o.
Wait, how did you get that picture? Bill, what the Also, last week, the first all-civilian shuttle from Florida arrived at the International Space Station. Some of the quotes that were overheard from the passengers as they boarded included, "Oh no, the Wi-Fi sucks. Am I going to submit my Yelp review?"
What do you mean I can't get Amazon Prime? Isn't Bezos in charge of this?
Yes, is I. Typical American Florida man. I look forward to enjoying the view of home planet Earth. In space, I hear it screams you.
Who's hungry? I snuck in some salad, cereal, and animal crackers.
Yeah. Oh no, I forgot to do my taxes. Oh well, if I'm wealthy enough to be up here, it probably doesn't matter. IRS can't get me in space anyway.
But of course, it's expected that things will start to go downhill when you start to let people from Florida into your neighborhood.
That is the moral of the story, yes.
We'd like to thank our writers for NewsFlash this week, and if you'd like to see your name up here, you can submit your jokes to comedyoutletmondays@gmail.com with the subject NewsFlash Tips.
That's right. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You can watch videos of old shows, get notified of lineups for future shows, find our submission form to put your act on our stage, and learn about other ways that you can get involved here. But now, Grand Rapids, you're welcome. NewsFlash! Yeah!